welcome back from that break. It's good to have you join us on the discussion this morning. Good morning, Kenneth.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right. This is Kenneth. I already introduced you, and of course, as it is, we will get into the conversation straight up. Like I said, Samuel Kenneth Yashin is the Program Officer, Accessibility 365 Home Infrastructure in FCT Abuja. Now, let's get to talk about national development, and that is accessibility of facilities by people who are physically challenged. I don't call them disabled, I call them physically challenged. Now, how can you explain, all right, what this project and this mission is about? How did it come about?
Okay, thank you very much. This project is being sponsored by my Actor Foundation, and grantee is JONAPID, which is Joint National Association of Persons with Disability, and Cedar State Foundation, which I happen to be the program manager on this project, is implementing. So the project is titled, like you rightly said, Accessibility 365 on infrastructure in FCT. So this project came as a result of the challenges that we notice persons with disabilities are being faced. Like you said, you don't call our community disabled people. Also, the physical challenge somehow, also we don't appreciate to be used. We rather go with the word persons with disability. If you want to be specified, maybe youth with disability, women with disability, or men with disability, but generally persons with disabilities. So we notice, even though there's already an act and that of the UN Convention on the right of persons with disability, and here in Nigeria we have the Disability Act that was being passed into law in 2018. But we notice the implementation, there's challenge, and only few people are even aware. Majority of the people, citizens, are not aware of what entails and what needs to be done. So when you check into structures, you find that persons with disability are not being included. For instance, mathematically, what the UN define persons with disability is disability equal to impairment times barriers. So these are the barriers, are the limitation being faced by persons with disability. Why the impairment has to do with the physical or what is seen of the person. Okay, for instance, it can be physical, it can be intellectual, it can be sensory. Okay, these are the impairment. It comes with the person. But the barriers is what is preventing that individual to be involved or to also carry out activity as same as persons without disabilities. So we are focusing on how to see those barriers are being lifted away, because the moment that barrier are being reduced or is being removed totally, automatically there's no the impairment will not be filled. So the person cannot perform as equal as persons without disabilities. So we are focusing on infrastructures. You notice most of the facilities we're having, even in Abuja, as the project that's the implementing area or location, you find out that most of the buildings are not accessible for persons with disabilities. Okay, yes, there are lifts for most of the building, and you find that ramp is missing, and you find that even the color being used on the stage for someone with albinism will not even have access. We find it difficult to even have access to those to that building or to where he or she is going. So this was the project is all about, to bring awareness and to make people to understand that this is how it needs to be done, so that when persons with disabilities being included, then everyone will have a better place. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Kenneth, for that. Now, let's bring the government because this is democracy, and of course, everyone is entitled to the dividends of democracy. I don't know, is there any government agency, all right, that has heard this cry or that is in support of these? Because I could remember during the elections, we talked about albinism, and a lot of them were given the opportunity to do their voting early hours before the sunrise, and a lot of that has been done in the past. Has the government really taken what you're saying into cognizance?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. I heard you clearly.
Right.
If I said no, I don't think I'm being fair. Okay, because there are a lot of government agencies and departments. For instance, even the act that I'm talking about has already commissioned a commission on that has to do with persons with disability, and they are fully aware of the activities being carried out by organizations like ours, okay, that has to do with persons with disabilities. Okay, a lot of partnership has been done. In fact, they are even aware of this specific project we are carrying, we are executing. So, but the issue here is the awareness, the involvement, the engagement, or will I say the implementation is not enough. Okay, it's not enough. That's where we still have a lot of challenges where we want it to get to the public domain, and maybe by changing a kind of approach on making sure this gets to the actual grassroots, where every average citizen of Nigeria will know what it tells according to the act that has to do with persons with disability.
Disability and all of that. The government on its part may think they are trying, but right now, which areas, okay, do you think needs to be, just give us example of the areas of infrastructure that you feel needs more improvement? You say the government is doing, but they need more improvement, which this project is actually looking at. Which area of infrastructure?
Good. Now, when we talk about infrastructure, we're talking about the physical infrastructure, the public space, where every other person can have access to, be it markets, okay, be it offices, be it banks, the airports, okay, all these are even being included in the act, okay. But we are talking about public space, where persons without disability are being accessing freely. We also want persons with disability to also have that access. Now, when we talk about that, you talk what area do we really want the government, or what kind of approach? This is it. In most cases, when intervention is being involved, the approach being used is this equality. What is given to persons without disability is that same actual thing that will be given to persons with disability. But what we are saying is, by when you take a proper findings or proper research on the persons with disability and persons without disability, you will find that the right approach to use should be equity. What I mean by equity is that actual thing that persons with disability needs that will erase the barrier. That's what should be given to the person, not that same thing that is given to persons without disability that has no much impact to persons with disability will be given to persons with disability. That's why we think we always continue to have that same kind of barrier affecting persons with disability, and that's where the limitation comes about. For instance, let me say someone that is physically disabled, and the person needs probably mobility or motorized wheelchair, and at the end of it, maybe it is rice that is given to the person, or a kind of palliative package. Okay, even though we know the situation of the country a little bit hunger, but what the person needs at that time that will aid almost to some good percentage of the challenges he or she is having is actually that thing that will erase that barrier of the impairment the person is having. So this is the area we keep, one of the things we are advocating, that when intervention wants to come in that area, it should be looked according to the impairment of that person and the right equipment or right material and aiding aids, okay, aids equipment that will be issued to the person that will enable the person to also feel among to participate in social activities.
Okay, let's look at how do you think the needs of the people with disability should be taken into account? Because as it is right now, there are some things you're looking at, because they said he who wear the shoe know where it's pinching, where the pain is.
Exactly.
How, like you've already mentioned one or two, but then there is a place you are looking at. All right, things that you feel should be taken into account, from the presidency to the National Assembly to the House of Rep to the state governors, because we have people with disability across board, not just in FCT but everywhere in Nigeria, in the communities and everywhere. So how do you think this can reach all of these people, and what should be taken into account?
Okay, for instance, already there's a process in that regard, which the National Assembly are aware of it. To be precise, the House of Rep, the Speaker is in full support of it, and there's a committee, the House, that is handling the affair of persons with disabilities. Okay, they are also aware of this, is a full knowledge, and I have to give kudos to the chairman of the committee and the Speaker. In fact, not just only the infrastructure on this challenge that we're talking about, and other issue that is of concern to persons with disabilities, and they've given us that assurance that it will be looked into, it will be tabled to the Mr. President, and it will also be tabled to other ministry across from the federal level and across the state. Like you said, it's all over Nigeria, but specifically this project, like I said, is being implemented in FCT Abuja with a kind of wider range to also reach other places. But what we are saying is we'll keep on following up to see that that implementation comes as quick as possible, not as usual that it will be taking years and all of that. Okay, to make sure that these things are being put in places. Now, like when you talk about the accessibility in infrastructure we're talking about, you will see a lot of structures. They will tell you it's accessible. The moment they just have lift, but the lift, is it wide enough for someone on wheelchair to get into it?
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Because sometimes you see some spaces are provided. I understand quite well what he is saying, because sometimes some people do it in the name of there should be equality across board and all of that. But then, is it properly done? That's what Kenneth is trying to say, and that's across all board, because some persons are doing this assignment and you see people take money and don't do what the government is expected of them, and that's what calls for accountability. And let's get connected with Kenneth. Kenneth, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, Kenneth?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I don't know actually where I stopped, because I know I've been talking before I noticed I was not connected.
No, you were on track. You were talking about the Senate, the committee.
Okay, fine. Okay. I said yes. National Assembly is aware of this, and to be precise, House of Rep, the Speaker is aware, and the committee in charge of disability matters, the chairman is fully in support of us, is one that is vibrant whenever he hears anything that has to do with persons with concern, persons with disability. He doesn't joke with that. So we really give them kudos to that. But what I'm saying is, they gave us their words that this will be tabled to Mr. President, other ministry, from the federal level and across the state, okay, to see that persons with disabilities are being carried along. But mind you, we have a commission too, that they are doing their best in making sure these things are being checkmate. All I'm saying is the implementation process should be speed up rather than the normal kind of taking a little bit time before things are being done. Meaning, it should be weighed on the scale of preferences, which the alternatives to be forgone, and other things that need urgent attention to be really addressed. And these are the things we are advocating and making sure from now henceforth.
Okay, Kenneth, I think I understand that
Yes.
very well. Speedy implementation is not just saying, it's not just accepting, it's not just embracing people with disability, but then the implementation of what has been said. And that's going to take me to the next question, because as a matter of fact, there are challenges in every process of implementation. You are a project manager. As a matter of fact, let's look at the challenges, because sometimes you will see that monies are being given. Sometimes I tell people it's not everything we blame the politicians for, but the problem we have is that there is no accountability, and some people are being asked to do a particular thing and they go divert fund. This is a challenge, but beyond that fact that there is no accountability, and of course in so many project implementations, what are the challenges that is being faced by this accessibility 365?
Okay, one is a lot of people are aware that there is an act, but majority don't even know what it entails in the act. Not to even talk of which of the parts are we advocating. For instance, we are talking about the accessibility, which is from the act. It talks about physical structure. So a lot of people don't even know about this. That is the first challenge we notice. And although we say it's a good challenge because that's why we took upon the project, but we never knew that the gap is even beyond what we thought of. And luckily enough that we'll be engaging media to get a wider coverage. We're also doing the physical engagement. Then secondly, after carrying out our research in Abuja on structures, we find out that majority of these structures are not even inclusive persons with disability. Persons with disability cannot access them. Okay, because we did all of fame and all of shape, and we're able to carry out 10 most accessible facilities in Abuja, and this come across banks, hospital, market, and all of that. Okay, 10 of them, and also carry out that of the 10 most inaccessible places in Abuja. So those accessible places, we give them their credit, and we also encourage them to do more. Those that are most inaccessible, we tend to encourage them, and the 10 of them, luckily enough, they comply that they will look into it. And as time goes on, as it is now, they're finding a way to see they blend those bridges so that they will meet along the line. So among the 10, some of them even assume their facility is accessible, but by the time we begin to pinpoint this is not done the way it is, and they got to understand that okay, they need to revisit and see how to come up with things the way it should be. Then next thing we did is that we had a meeting with the estate managers, the civil engineers, all the team, the stakeholders that has to do with building, with construction, the contractors, and we tend to lay our price that we are not comfortable with the way structures are being built without putting persons with disability into consideration, and they also gave us their wisdom that from henceforth things will be done. And in the act is already a law that it should be that way, and we find out that even as being professionals, they tend to neglect that part. But this is what we are in for, and we believe as we carry on this, we really get to the right places where everyone, like we said, we want every citizen from the locality to be aware of it. The moment he or she gets to a place, the first thing that will come to the person mind is, okay, is person with disability should be able to access here, yes or no? If no, we want that person to be an advocate to see how he or she can rectify that with the management so that things will be done right.
All right. Our time is winding up, Kenneth. It has been Kenneth, project manager. Well, as it is right now, you said there was a research carried out, and there are about a number of places that is not accessible by people with disability. Is the FCT minister aware of that yet? Because you don't just need to end this in FCT alone, because there are people in other parts of the countries who need to have this access as Nigerians, as people who have voted for these people who are in governance. But now, beginning from Abuja, where you have started your research from, is the FCT minister aware? Is his office aware?
Okay, for now, that has not been tabled to the FCT minister's table. The reason is this. They gave us their words that they admit their limitation, and they promised us they will work on it. So we are observing. So when they will fulfill their promises, as they said, before taking it over. You know, the minister is an active minister, and if this should come before then definitely, you know, the outcome of the rest. But we are watching them. We want to take them by their ways to see. And before the project runs out, then we will know how to relate it to that. But even before tabling to the minister, I think if we are having any challenge first, there's a table of reporting our activities. First is to the JONAP, okay, like I said, who are the grantee. Then the JONAP, from that angle, they will discuss other key stakeholders of disability with the commission. Then they will see a way of relating it to the minister. But from our own angle, we don't have that power now. Is the JONAP under my actor with the commission that has to do with persons with disability that will table that to him. But for now, we're still observing, like I said, before taking the proper reports on that.
Oh, all right. Finally, before I let you go, what would be your last word to people with disability who have faced this limitation in the past, not having access to facilities? That's one. Then what would you say to people who are not disabled and the people in governance that are supposed to make these things available to people with disability? We are rounding up now. That's the last word.
Okay, to my community of persons with disability, disability is not a limitation. CEO, there is disability. What I mean is THIS. There is this ability in you that Nigeria, the world, and the universe is waiting for you to see, and bring out that. Be focusing on the barriers for now, which we are out here to make sure the barriers are being taken away. So that ability in you, bring it out, and definitely Nigeria is waiting to feel the impact, which the global will also feel the heat. Then to persons without disability, you know, there is this misconception that whenever you see persons with disability, the world, I mean, this image of seeing the person as a beggar or liability. Oh, no. I really want persons without disability to take away that notion. We are not beggars. Even in the act, okay, it's against using persons with disability to beg in public places or private places just in the name to get some kind of favor. Is wrong in the act. It's not a good act to be done. It's not a good thing. So we want them to see that they should help us to become advocates too, that places that need to be accessible should be accessible, so that everyone will be carried along, because that is the major challenges we people from our community are facing. And once that is being done, then we are at the same pace. That's why I talk about equity. Okay, what is actually the needs of persons with disability is totally different from that of persons without disability. So that a mindset of equal sharing of aids and all of that, that's what we're trying to talk against, and if possible it should be stopped. Not even reduced, right. It should be stopped, and equity should be picked up on.
Thank you very much, Kenneth. Once again, this is going to be the size of our conversation. If time had allowed us, we would have talk again, because it just made a valid point where people use other persons who have disabilities in the name of begging and all of that. And some people even use their names for so many things. I think I like that emphasis. Thank you very much, Kenneth, for bringing up this revelation and letting us know that you are there and this project is on and kicking.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. This is the size of Global Morning today, and that's the discussion. Whatever you do, you should know that there are people around us that the government is accountable to. Because they are physically challenged, they even need more attention than people who are not physically disabled, people who are not disabled. Well, we'll talk more, and that's going to be some of the time concerning this, because it is all about national development. It is all about the dividends of democracy. It's all about inclusiveness, and it is all about the people. My name is Ramsey Enoch. Many thanks for joining us on Global Morning today. Global Morning will come on your way again, same time, same station tomorrow. Bye-bye for now, and have a beautiful day.